Hi, and welcome to part 2 in my 3-part series on storefront optimized routing with Netscaler Gateway. In this section, I'll go ahead and do the demo regarding the example from the last section, which is really just a segregation of infrastructure using Gateway as the broker between one security zone and the next, however, leveraging one storefront to facilitate access. So to level set on some expectations here in my lab, what I have is two distinct zones separated with a firewall, and the screen that you're seeing is a user PC that's sitting on the same network segment as my storefront. You can see here I've got storefront living on 172.16.10.101, and I have the IP address of my client here at 10.114. So these are on the same network segment, and what I'll do is demonstrate that we can connect to a single internal storefront, and that'll enumerate two distinct sites. And then we'll do a launch from a XenApp instance that's on the trusted production LAN, and then a XenApp launch from the PCI segment. And in doing so, I'll demonstrate how we can use that one storefront and route traffic through the gateway, but only for the PCI. So additionally, what you'll notice here is there is actually a site, a XenDesktop site or XenApp site per LAN segment in this case. So that's the assumption up front, is that the store is actually bound to two distinct sites, a trusted production site and a PCI site. So what I'll do is I'll start here. You can see my receiver for web. You can see in the URL I'm connected straight up to that storefront, and I'll do a quick login here with Charlie. And that'll do a login to Active Directory, return my Active Directory groups, and you'll see here that I've got Google Chrome and Firefox. These are what's my production trusted stuff. And then if I go over to desktops, because I am Charlie PCI, I have access to my secured PCI desktop. So just real quick to start, I'll go ahead and click Firefox. And what I'll illustrate is a really easy way to show that we're directly connecting to the XenApp server using tools that we have with Director, as opposed to maybe jumping into Wireshark or trying to look directly on the server to look for your open and active ports. So what I'll do is I'll hop over to, oh, there's Firefox now. I'll just leave that minimized, and I'll come over to my Director. And if I click on search and type in Charlie, we'll see my Charlie user there. I'm going to pull up my XenApp session. Now, if we click on the Details tab, you'll see that this gives us all the information about the session, and this will all start to populate later. But you can see that we launched via the storefront, 172.16.10.101, and we're connected via the actual workstation, this workstation that is on the same LAN segment. It's that 10.114 address. So we're connected directly to the XenApp server. When this data actually starts to populate, we'll get logon duration and then the channel report. But then at the bottom, one of the things you'll also notice is that we don't get any network data here. And this is something that is because we're not traversing that gateway. So Director is real good. It gives us what we need, but it's not bound, so we don't get any network information. So that's just a direct connection. Now, if I come over to same store, same user, no changes, I'll just go ahead and click on my secured PCI desktop. And this has been configured on the storefront to force the user to go through the Netscaler gateway. And that'll actually pop up here in just a moment. And this connection, the storefront says, hey, this store requires a specific Netscaler gateway to be traversed. And in doing so, it actually routes that traffic transparently through the gateway into the PCI XenApp instance, and that'll come up here in a moment. So what I'll do to illustrate how the easy way to see that this is in place, of course you could use Wireshark and you could watch the traffic, or you could go on to the Netscaler and validate it that way. But a very easy way that I found is just to go into Director. This is the Director for my PCI zone, and I'll click search, and I'll find that same user. He's actually logged into a completely different site, so we have to use a different Director. Let that activity come up. There it goes. So we've got our details, and we go in here, and we'll see all the same information. We would have the same details from the session, but when this populates, what we'll see is that we were launched via the storefront, 172.16.10.101, which is what we'd expect, but we're connected via my Netscaler, netscaler.citrix.lab. This 172.16.10.1 is the subnet IP address for the Netscaler. Now this will again take a few moments to populate because it's a brand new session, but what we'll start to see also is the integration of Insight data here. So here we see that the director has populated with some data, and we had a 30-second log on there, and then if we look down, now we can see that because we're traversing that Netscaler gateway, we're starting to collect Netscaler Insight metrics as well, so we can start seeing round trip time, latency, and so forth as soon as these figures start to populate within my lab. So you can see right there that we're able to actually span not only two different stores, but also we're able to use the Netscaler gateway as a broker for some of those stores, even when we're internal. So we've facilitated the ability to lock down that connection. So right now we could, for instance, we could turn off that Netscaler gateway instance and prohibit all traffic to our PCI zone, or we can go so far as to audit the connections that are going through at a more granular level. So we're able to facilitate that in all these scenarios. In the next section, I'll actually walk through an implementation of this and dig deeper into the lab configuration that I have running so that you can see how you can implement it in your environment. So thanks for watching.